on, guys, and welcome to the MLS live stream here on Stateside Footy as the summer of soccer continues here in the United States. And I got to say, man, I am absolutely fired up for this one. For those that have been, subscribers of the channel, the summer has been absolutely fantastic. We had the U.S. men's national team and their Gold Cup run. Of course, we had the Club World Cup as it pertained to the MLS sides that were in that. Now, of course, now that those two competitions are done, the MLS live stream returns, and of course, we have a Western Conference battle tonight as the fifth place Seattle Sounders looking to get back as they have gotten a little bit more healthy as they're taking on the ninth place San Jose Earthquake, and of course, the Earthquake last year's golden wooden spoon award for being the worst team in Major League Soccer, rebounding under former U.S. men's national team head coach Bruce Arena. So far, I would probably assume that everyone who has been paying attention to the San Jose Earthquake would probably assume that they're night and day better than they were just 1 year ago. Far more dangerous, absolutely brilliant attacking front foot forward attacking soccer. So this one is going to be definitely an interesting one, as the Seattle Sounders, of course, are missing their two main center backs. But that being said, the guys that have filled in have done an absolutely dynamite job. But the most important thing is they got their primary target 9. Jordan Morris is obviously back in the starting 11. And the way that the Sounders like to attack is direct, straight through the middle of the pitch. So before we get into it, let's go ahead and check out the starting lineups for both teams, and we'll start with the Seattle Sounders. And of course, they line up in a 4-2-3-1. In goal tonight will be Mr. Thomas, as he currently is replacing Stefan Fry. As the Sounders got back from the Club World Cup in their first match against Columbus, he took a knee to the head, and he has been out, but he should be okay moving forward as he inches close back to returning to the Seattle starting 11. Their back four will be on the left side will be Ian Baker-Whiting. Josh Bell and Gomez are your center back pairing, and of course Rienzi, who has been absolutely fantastic for the Sounders on the right side, will occupy that spot. The double pivot, of course, is going to be Ovid Vargas and Christian Roldan. Those two have made an absolute wonderful double pivot this season, and of course Christian Roldan has been absolutely on fire. The midfield three on the left-hand side will be Pedro de la Vega, their DP player. On the right side will be Jesus Ferreira. In the middle at the number 10 will be Albert Rusnik, and of course Jordan Morris is going to be up top tonight for the Sounders. For the San Jose Earthquake, Bruce Arena is going to line up in a 3-4-3. In goal for them will be Daniel. The three center backs are going to be Romney, Floriani, and Roberts. The midfield four is going to be Espinosa, who is absolutely just a brilliant winger. His ability on the ball, not only 1v1, but also playing balls ahead. He's been absolutely fantastic. His distribution is off the charts. The center mid pairings will be Kay and Harks. Ricketts will be on the left, and up top is going to be Chucho Orengo, Buddha, and Judge. And of course, the stir that straws the drink obviously is going to be Chucho Orengo. He is absolutely brilliant. I would be hard pressed to think that he's probably not going to be active tonight. So as we are waiting here for this thing to start, and of course, when you look at the standings in Major League Soccer in the Western Conference right now, Seattle is going to sit on 34 points. They are currently sitting fifth in the Western Conference, 1 point behind LAFC in fourth. And the hurdles that they've absolutely had to jump through this season, when they, essentially starting off, they lose Paul Arriola very quickly. They lose Jordan Morris to an injury himself, and of course, they've had to make do with the attacking options, and of course, they have also lost Yarmar at part this year. Jackson Reagan has also been dealing with some knocks and niggles as well too. So the first half of the season for Seattle really has been just being able to overcome some of the serious injuries. As for San Jose, I like the way that they play. I mean, they are front foot, constantly on the attack, trying to do things. And I actually kind of like that bravery, because that is actually kind of a trait of Bruce Arena himself. And of course, he has some very decent attacking options. Of course, you always have to highlight Chucho Arango, coming from Real Salt Lake, now you're in a situation where you come to this and you're absolutely the guy up top. So he is going to be the focal point. And everything seems to run through him. But that being said, the young guy, Judd, is also a stud as well, too. So San Jose has multiple ways that they are going to be able to beat you. And we were just waiting for this thing to kick off. I'm absolutely looking forward to this one because, again, when we come to Major League Soccer and when we talk about some of these, this league, I think a lot of people are first going to look at the negatives of what this league is. The fact that there is a hard cap, teams are not necessarily allowed to spend, and I would probably agree with that. But that being said, we also have to look at the infancy of this league. It's only 30 years old, and I would probably assume that within the next couple seasons, especially as we get past World Cup 2026, and I would also assume that's going to be the last time that we're going to see Leo Messi. That's probably going to be his last year. The Major League Soccer is going to have to do something to keep those fans that came to the table when Messi came here to begin with. And so from that standpoint, I would probably assume we're going to see maybe the salary cap jump up a little bit. I think we're at that point where the infrastructure in Major League Soccer is there. Most teams have a soccer-specific stadium. Most have training grounds. Most now have academies. And I think that we're at that stage where, of course, the owners are now billionaires, not millionaires. I think we're in a position where we can actually spend and not necessarily have a problem making up the difference as far as revenue. So we are almost ready to go in Seattle. And listen, man, as far as I'm concerned, the name of the game for Seattle tonight is going to have to be figuring out a way to stop the attacking three of San Jose. They're going to be lively. They're going to be on the ball. And when you look at the way San Jose tries to set up through the middle, the way that they try to, you can't press them out on the wings because they have guys that are going to be able just to play balls forward. That's going to be an interesting dynamic for Seattle to be able to handle. I think they will be able to handle it. But that being said, this is going to have to be a situation where they're going to have to score first. Get some of that momentum, and of course, utilize your home field, which historically has been absolutely brilliant for Seattle. So we are close. We are close to the opening kick here, as we're waiting for this to come off a commercial break here on the Apple. I guess you can say the MLS Season Pass on Apple. So it'll be just a few moments, and as soon as we are there, obviously we will start this live stream. Quick question tonight for you guys out there: what do you think this scoreline will be? You can jump into the chat tonight. Before we get into it, do make sure that you hit the subscribe buttons as well too, because right now Stateside Footy is also in a race for 1,000 subs. And so, the quicker we can get there, the quicker we can do really cool stuff with this channel. So definitely hit that subscribe button as well too. And the other thing worth noting is that I am on Twitter at Stateside Footy, and now it's on TikTok as well too with the same screen name. And of course, a lot of cool things are going up on TikTok as well too. So there's multiple platforms that this channel is on. Multiple ways to get to sit back and talk a little soccer. I'm available, man. I love talking this sport, so definitely head over there and hit those subscribe buttons. As we are waiting for this kick, and it's going to be interesting, right? Now, normally you would think that Seattle would be favored, and of course, the win probability is 55.5% in Seattle's favor to 22.5. But that being said, I'm always the type of guy that is going to say the first team that's going to score tonight is probably going to be is probably going to be the team that most likely will win this. I like Seattle's chances to do that. So we are almost set, as it looks like Drew Fisher is going to be the referee. And I'll let you know quite quickly as who's in the VAR tonight. It's going to be Soren Stioka and Robert Schopp in the VAR tonight for the refereeing crew. And it looks like we are almost underway. Seattle is wearing their retro 90s Sounders kit tonight, and looks like San Jose is. I don't know what San Jose is wearing, but it's not looking great. So they're wearing some weird ass kits. And we are close to being underway here. And possession is going to be with San Jose as they're playing from left to right, as they're going to play this one up and it's going to get out. So it automatically, with 4 seconds in, will be a Seattle throw-in. And it looks like Mr. Rienzi is going to be taking this throw-in for Seattle. I absolutely love those 90s kits for Seattle. That throw-in is going to get played all the way back to Thomas, and now this is going to go all the way back out to the left to Baker Whiting. And now it looks like Gomez, he's going to play this forward, but quickly San Jose is going to regain possession. And it looks like they're trying to work quickly here down the right-hand side. And that's going to be played back to one of their center backs. And quickly they're going to try to move this forward. But here's Reed Baker Whiting. He's going to try to play this one forward. And it's going to be Jordan Morris that's going to get on it. He puts one on. Look at Jordan as he hits the side of the net. And now all of a sudden he's wondering if there is a potential penalty right there between the goalkeeper and himself. But that was a great ball played forward from Reed Baker Whiting, who gets Jordan Morris on the front foot. Maybe a little bit of an awkward shot right there, but that being said, that was damn near close as it hits the side nets. So quickly, Seattle all of a sudden has got their first shot on inside the box. I love this. So here comes San Jose as they're going to try to play this one up, and it looks like it's going to be Ricketts, and Ricketts going to get pressured, and so they're going to have to play this back. And now this thing is going to go all the way to the left-hand side, and it's Roberts, and he's going to try to lay this forward. And it looks like to Buddha here. And now they're going to have to play this one back to Roberts. Yeah, San Jose is trying to work down the left-hand side. Good crowd tonight in Seattle. And, of course, Seattle's my hometown. Good summer night. And this ball is going to get cycled back to their center backs, and it's Roberts now, who's going to play this up the left-hand side. As it looks like Espinosa is going to drive in. That ball is going to get deflected, but quickly to a San Jose attacker on the right-hand side. 1v1 against Reed Baker Whiting. As he's trying to play this in, he does. Good defense by the Sounders. That's going to get tipped all the way out. And it looks like that ball is going to get tipped out. And that was Pedro de la Vega for the Sounders right there. Listen, man, this has been so far. Right now, I would say both teams are just trying to feel each other out. This is, we're still within the first 5 minutes. Nothing really has been established attacking wise for either team. Both are trying to strike quickly on the counter. As that one's going to get popped up, that's going to be kept in bounds by Espinosa. As now San Jose is trying to pass this a little centrally all the way to the left-hand side, and I believe it's going to be Buddha here who's going to play this one in, and that's going to be deflected. And Seattle now will have possession. It's Rienzi who's going to lay this off to Christian Roldan, and it's Roldan in possession through the center of the park. He's going to lay this off to Baker Whiting. And now it's Obed Vargas, who's got Akers in front of him. That's going to get played all the way to the right. And now it's Jesus Ferreira. Back to Roldan centrally. Not exactly the greatest pass right there, but it's kept alive, right? Kept alive very well. And it's Jesus Ferreira from outside the box. That's going to get played in, tipped out, but it's going to fall all the way to the left-hand side, and it's De La Vega now, as Sanders will keep possession deep in San Jose's territory. And it's Baker Whiting. He's got to have to play this one back. And it's Bell right there. As that's going to get played all the way back. And now that ball is going to get shot up the right-hand side by Thomas. And it looks like this might. Ooh, was that touch by Ricketts before it went out? Yeah, it was. Here's Seattle's throwing, and it's quick. And here's Jesus Ferreira. Ferreira's going to lay this one off. Here's Rusnik. Lays it off. It's Christian Roldan who takes a shot. Right at the goalkeeper. Good save right there by Daniel for San Jose. And Seattle now are taking chances. And one of the hottest members of the Seattle Sounders, right, over the course of the last 2 months has been Christian Roldan. The leadership that he's been able to provide, but also being, very dangerous when it comes to goal contributions. But here comes San Jose now. Good press right there by Rusnik. And that's going to get played back as San Jose is going to try to cycle it. Here's Roberts, who's going to play this one up. And it looks like it's going to be Ricketts up the left-hand side, but it's going to get played all the way back to Daniel. There's a turnover. And it's Christian Roldan. Back to Yaimar. And that ball's going to get played through. It's Jordan Morris with the heavy touch, and that's going to be a turnover right there. And here comes San Jose on the counter. 1v1 in the box. Nice defense right there by Bell, as that was played into to Thomas right there, who makes an easy save. But again, Seattle essentially turned that one high up the pitch as they were in transition in the counterattack. Jordan Morris with a heavy touch led directly to a turnover, and San Jose got down the pitch on the counterattack incredibly quick. But it's Seattle in possession as they're trying to play this through the middle of the park. That ball's over the top and just a little too far forward for Jordan Morris. So both teams have really tried to establish the counterattack early, to medium to moderate success. That's what I essentially expected from these two teams. So pretty happy so far with the way that both of these are team playing, and that's going to get bombed up the right-hand side to Espinosa, and that's going to get tapped out by Reed Baker-Whiting for a San Jose throw-in. Looks like we have Wayne Bonner, who says, "Sup, everyone. Hope you're having a good weekend." Wayne, it's always good to see you. Always good to see you. I'm of course grateful for the support for U.S. soccer and Major League Soccer. Let me tell you that for those that haven't really caught along, this has actually developed into one of the more exciting leagues around the world. And of course, these two teams specifically tonight have these 3 points are going to be huge for both teams when it comes to playoff seedings, and especially where they sit in the tables. I'm sure Seattle would like to move up to number 4. They would with a win, and San Jose obviously is trying to stay in that wild card race. Speaking of San Jose, it's going to be Espinosa on the right-hand side. He's trying to dribble through 2. And Reed Baker-Whiting makes a very good defensive play, but that ball's going to come down, situated in. Good defense right here by the Sounders as they do clear it. It was Chucho Arango right there who got played through. As San Jose is forced to play out on the wings here. As that ball's going to get played forward. And it looks like it was Espinosa. That's going to go out off of Christian Roldan, who's not happy about it. So it'll be a San Jose throw-in here, deep in Seattle territory. And it looks like San Jose's kits are the old San Jose Clash kits, which from 30 feet away from the camera angle didn't look all that great, but when you see the front of the kit, it actually looks pretty goddamn cool. So I stand corrected. as San Jose is working in Seattle's territory, as they're trying to cycle through. Here's Roberts, who's going to be able to dribble forward. He's going to play one all the way to the right side. It's Espinosa 1v1 against Baker Whiting. And now he's going to have to play this one back. As San Jose is trying to work down this right-hand side to their main distributor. Ooh, what a save by Thomas. As Espinosa put in a great ball, and it was Judd who got on the end of it. And Andrew Thomas made a brilliant save right there to keep this game scoreless. But again, that's what Espinosa is able to do. That dude has, that dude's distribution race, but also his right foot is absolutely lethal. And again, that was one of the things that I was worried about coming into this one. The ability for him to create space and Seattle not being able to close down enough as those crosses go into the box. And it looked like Bell literally did not mark Judd right there. So Seattle's lucky to get away with that one. As Seattle now is on the build-up as they cross midfield. Here's Rusnek. And it's Obed Vargas. Here's Ymar. As Seattle's playing it down the right-hand side here. As Christian rolled on. And it's going to be Reed Baker Whiting. He's going to lay it off to De La Vega on the left-hand side. And there's nothing there, so Seattle's going to have to cycle this one back. Here's Obed Vargas. Jesus Ferrer as he plays it up to Rienzi on the right-hand side. 1v1. Here's Rienzi. Oh, nice tackle. It was Ricketts right there against Rienzi. Now that's a nice ball through. It's Jordan Morris. That's going to get deflected. And it's going to be Roberts. But Seattle holds it in. And it'll be played centrally to Reed Baker Whiting. And now Seattle's going to have to recycle this one. And it's going to be Josh Bell here. And it's going to get played forward. Nice ball right there. Now all of a sudden that's a through ball. Can they get Jordan Morris on the end of it? Ooh, and that was a bad tackle right there by Daniel outside the box. As he slid and Jordan goes absolutely somersaults forward in the air. Is he okay? Ooh. Unbelievable. That's the thing. It's like if you're a keeper, you can't necessarily impede the run of an attacking player as he came forward to try to kick that out, as Jordan Morris literally just goes up and over the leg of the keeper, Daniel, right there as he was racing forward. And we will see if both of these players are going to be okay. There's the physios on the pitch for Jordan. And, of course, you'd love to see Jordan get up and continue to play this one, considering that, Jordan's missed a lot of game time this year due to injury. And the last thing we want is Jordan out again. And it looked like he absolutely came down on that right shoulder, the left shoulder of his. And it looks like he's getting up now. Same thing with San Jose's keeper, Daniel. As Jordan's still holding his shoulder as he's sitting. Looked like he was about to get up. And we're hoping that this isn't a separated shoulder. As for San Jose's keeper, it looks like he's up. As we are waiting to see what is happening now with Jordan Morris. Jordan actually beat his man on that through ball and was one step away from getting on the end of it when Daniel came flying out of the box past the 18-yard. He did get to the ball first, but that being said, you can't necessarily impede the runner of a. You have to do what you can to get out of the way with it, out of the way of it. And there was nothing you can do as Jordan ends up going, head over tea kettle, down on his left shoulder. That thing actually looked incredibly painful. As we are here in a stoppage of play, I do want to thank everybody for tuning in tonight. Make sure you hit that subscribe button because, again, we are on a race for 1,000 subs. And once we get to that point, we can do a lot of cool members-only shows. We can do a lot of really cool fan shows, as well as get very good entertaining guests on as well too. So make sure you hit those sub buttons. I would be extremely grateful for the opportunity. So make sure you hit those sub buttons. As we are getting close to the restart of play here, and it looks like Jordan might be coming off the pitch here, as he has done it. He is up and he is walking, and that's it. So Jordan's going to be coming off, and it looks like it's going to be Steven Wazowski, who is going to check in for Jordan Morris, and that's not what you want to see. 15 minutes in, and Seattle loses their target striker. But I will give Wazowski credit because he's actually filled in. He has filled in absolutely fantastic for Jordan, and it looks like Jordan's going to go off and get an X-ray on that shoulder. So play, it looks like they will resume as it's going to be a Seattle throw-in, as that ball is going to go in. Reed Baker-Whiting will play this to the left. That's just a little too hard for Pedro de la Vega. So this will be a San Jose throw-in. And one of the things that I would like to see is Seattle not get down by losing a guy like Jordan, right? This has to be a quick memory loss type of thing, and still being able to hold their shape. So here comes Ricketts down the left-hand side. He's going to try to play this one in, a little too far forward off the left-hand side, and Thomas was there to corral that ball. So here comes Seattle in possession as they're forced to play this back to the San Jose press. San Jose has done a very good job pressing so far in this one. Seattle has not necessarily been as comfortable in the build-up. As here's Pedro de la Vega on the left-hand side. As that's automatically going to go back to Bill. And Seattle will try again in the build-up. All the way out to Ymar. And Ymar is going to play this one forward. Oh, nice play right there. In the box. Plays it across. Here's De La Vega. De La Vega tries to cross it to the back, and that's just way too far forward as it goes out for a corner. So far, Seattle on the front foot has not been as clean. And it looked like it was Rienzi, who actually made a great touch right there to get into the box, but pulled up as San Jose's defenders were one step forward. So I'm hopeful that that Jordan Morris did not sustain any long-term injury, because this is usually the portion of the schedule where most teams start getting into their season. Usually the first half, you just kind of want to stay within that 500, just a little bit above 500 range until you get to the summer months, July and August, and that's usually when you play your best soccer. As we get into September, and of course, September is obviously the playoff push. So here's a Seattle throw-in. It's Reed Baker-Whiting. That's good defense right there by San Jose along the left side touchline. So Seattle will do this again. Good defense right there by Chucho Arango. One of the cool things that I'm looking forward to in Major League Soccer is that I do believe that starting in 2027, the end of the 2026 season, they're going to be moving to a FIFA calendar. And I would assume that that is going to go into effect after the 2026 season. So that it'll be World Cup 2026, the remainder of the season, and then starting in 2027, they're going to go to the FIFA calendar, which is August through June. I'm looking forward to this league being lined up with the rest of the global leagues. It's going to make everything that much easier. Here's San Jose now, as that's going to get deflected out, and it'll be a San Jose throw-in. And so far, it's been Chucho Arango has pretty much been everywhere for San Jose. Here comes Seattle now, trying to press up the right-hand side. That's going to be taken away, but Seattle regains possession quickly. And it's Christian Roldan. Passing hasn't exactly been clean. Heavy touches. That ball tries to get played through. That'll go all the way back to the keeper for San Jose as Christian Roldan was trying to play Jesus Ferreira forward. I don't know, man. I think Jesus Ferreira has been a little bit of a disappointment, for me at least, this season. An opportunity to come in, reestablish himself as a legit Major League Soccer scoring threat, just has not done it. Here's Espinosa down the right-hand side. That ball's going to get played in. Good defense by the Sounders. Quick counterattacking right there from San Jose down the right-hand side. And I would assume that post-2026, if the salary cap does go up in Major League Soccer and putting themselves on a FIFA calendar, it's going to open the door to European loans. One of the things that I'm looking forward to is some good young European players getting the opportunity to make some money early in their career, coming to Major League Soccer. It's just going to elevate the play in this league. I'm looking forward to the day where defenses are going to be as talented as some of these attacks. And looks like Rusnik was under duress right there, as it's played back to Ymar. As Major League Soccer is structured at the moment with the designated player rule, most teams are using their DPs on either cams, strikers, or wingers. You don't see a lot of teams using their DPs for center defensive mids or center backs. It's just the name of this league is parity. The name of this league is goal scoring, and teams would rather use that money for goals. That's a great play in right there. It's Reed Baker White who's going to pop this up, and that's going to get played out. Here's Rusnik, and he fires it over the crossbar right there. Good possession right here by the Sounders as they were dangerously close to going 1-0 up. Speaking of designated players, that nice little weighted pass in right there to Reed Baker Whiting by Pedro de la Vega. He's a DP for the Sounders as they paid $7 million for the Argentinian. I'm not exactly impressed with this play. I mean, incredibly good on the ball winger, very good in 1v1 situations, doesn't score a lot of goals. And really his assist totals aren't exactly where you want to see him. But then again, this is his first full season in Major League Soccer. Last year, he spent half the year injured. So, he's getting his taste of what it's like to play in Major League Soccer for a full season, the travel and everything that's included. So I'm more than willing to give Pedro, a couple seasons really just to get himself established. But that being said, there's a fine curve, because when you spend $7 million on a player, you're expecting instant results, and and the results necessarily haven't been there. Seattle's in possession here. And that's going to get played back. And it looks like it's Ymar who's going to play this all the way back to Andrew Thomas in goal. And Seattle will try to reset. San Jose's press has actually been quite impressive. And there's a turnover high. There's a shot. Oh, over the crossbar. Nice play right there. And I would, and I believe that was Kay right there, who gets the ball centrally, makes two steps, and then absolutely laces a cracker right over the crossbar. So Seattle got away with one right there as well too, as that ball's played forward, as that ball's ping-ponging. And now all of a sudden, here's San Jose's in the box, headed away, good cross. Nothing is there, and now Christian Roldan's going to try to have to clear this one. And there's no whistle right there, as Albert Rusnick was pushed down to the turf. As San Jose attempts a shot, that gets blocked, but the pressure from San Jose continues as they are dialing up the pressure here on the offensive side, as they're pressing up the left-hand side. Nice 1v1 player by Ricketts, goes in, and that's a goal. Unbelievable. And it's Judd with the finish, as San Jose was turning the screw a little bit on Seattle's defense. And that was absolutely a beautiful play as Ricketts, flicked that on forward to himself to get past Rienzi right there, cuts the corner, goes around, puts a beautiful pass in, and there was Judd right there to clean it. Unbelievable goal right there. And by the way, that was just an unbelievable play right there by Ricketts as he flipped it on forward. And he played one in, and there was Judd. That was a hell of a play right there, as he beat Ymar. And, of course, Judd had the step on Bell, and he puts one past Thomas. So San Jose takes a 1-0 lead. Beautiful, beautiful play by San Jose, as they did everything right there. So San Jose leads 1-0 as we are in the 26th minute. And now Seattle is going to has to look for a response, but not exactly the way that you wanted to start this one, as Jesus Ferreira loses possession on the right hand touchline. But Seattle's going to try to keep this one in. It's De La Vega. Here's Rusnick, who's going to play this one in. Musovski, and he scores! And that's how you respond. As Seattle quickly tried to get the ball back up the pitch, they do. And as San Jose was clearing it, it was played all the way back, but kept held in by Pedro De La Vega, who played it forward. The ball gets to Albert Rusnick off the left corner of the box, and he absolutely played a beauty into Musovski, who heads it past Daniel, and Seattle responds automatically to San Jose's goal. Unbelievable. Great goal by Seattle. And now all of a sudden a 1-0 lead is now 1-1. That was such a beautiful goal right there. And again, Seattle responds the way that you expect them to respond. Not getting down. They charge right back up the pitch and put a beautiful goal in right there. So Seattle loses Jordan Morris and his replacement, Musovski, becomes instantly goal dangerous as he puts this game back to a 1-1 draw. As we are approaching 30 minutes now in the first half, as It looks like there may be a little bit of a knock there for San Jose. But again, this is what Seattle provides. You can't give guys like Albert Rusnik space, because he's going to do exactly what he does. Play balls in, and of course the accuracy of his crossing is absolutely lethal. So Seattle has just equalized here in the 28th minute as the replay starts. And it's San Jose, as Seattle is now trying to press. And they're going to try to play this one out of it. Here's Espinosa. Good defense right there by Reed Baker-Whiting. And that's going to get out for a corner, as it was actually Judd down the right-hand side, as it will be Espinosa now to take the corner. I give all credit to San Jose, especially after just how god awful they were last year. Taking the wooden spoon, which is not exactly the award you want to take for being the worst team in the league. But that being said, they give Bruce Arena his final opportunity as head coach, and they were very active in the offseason to try to rebuild this roster in San Jose, and it's paid dividends. I mean, granted, yes, they're in ninth place, the last playoff spot, but considering all things considering, just as how bad this ownership is, and how much they generally do not pay attention to their own product, and are willing to have those type of seasons. It's nice seeing San Jose being competitive, not just in the Western Conference, but in Major League Soccer. So all testament to Bruce Arena. This team clearly has bought in. This match obviously is as important to Seattle as it is to San Jose, because San Jose is currently on 29 points. 3 points is going to move them up a little bit in the standings. It gives them a little breathing space. But that being said, here's Seattle now pushing forward. They're into the box. It's Jesus Ferreira who's going to try to play this forward, headed off, and it hits the crossbar. Oh, and it looks like it's Rusnik right there. Nope, Mazovsky. As initially that ball was played in by Jesus Ferreira, and it was Mazovsky. Ooh. It was Mazovsky that tried to put one on to clean it, but I think it was originally, Bell who got ahead on it as he hits that off the crossbar. And now here comes San Jose quickly down the right-hand side, and there's a whistle. Just a quick note that the MLS All-Star game is coming on July 23rd, and it's going to be the MLS All-Stars versus the Liga MX All-Stars. And this is kind of interesting. I do happen to enjoy the two All-Star teams of both leagues. Back in the day, the MLS All-Stars would play, an English Premier League side like Everton. I believe one year they played Manchester United as well, too, in the summer series. Here's De La Vega. And, of course, didn't necessarily work out too well for the MLS All-Stars. But since they kind of gone to this format, they do a pretty cool skills competition as well, too. So, they've figured out a good way to make the MLS All-Star game somewhat entertaining. But Pedro De La Vega put one on too. That was actually a beautiful save by Daniel. Oh no, he just absolutely missed it to the left right there. Good idea right there by De La Vega, trying to put one on. So this will be a goal kick for San Jose. Minute 33. That they tried to play that down the right-hand side as that's headed forward. But San Jose will hold possession here. as that ball's gonna have to be played back. And now they're gonna play off to the left. It's Roberts. Here's Kay. Here it comes San Jose across the midway line. And that ball's going to get shot well over the net right there. And that'll go out for a goal kick. So interesting first half, as both teams have scored here. As San Jose was the first one to throw that first punch, and that was a beautiful goal by Judd off a nice assist by Ricketts. But Seattle responded automatically a couple minutes later as Mazovsky scored off a header from an Albert Rusnak cross, and it's going to be Seattle now playing it down the left-hand side. It's Pedro de la Vega who cuts in. It's Jesus Ferreira. It's Obed Vargas. Now it's Ferreira again. As Seattle tried to weave this to the right-hand side, and they're going to have to play a little bit more centrally. Here's Christian Roldan. It's going to be Rienzi. Rienzi, 1v1, trying to get around the corner. That's going to get tipped. That's going to get tipped out for a Seattle corner here. I'm slowly becoming a fan of Rienzi. He has absolutely held down that right backside, that right wing backside for Seattle, almost making Alex Roldan a non-entity. And it's good to see because, that was one of the positions I thought Seattle easily could have improved, and they did. So that's good to see. So here's Rusnak. He's going to play this one in, headed, and then deflected. I have no idea what that was. It looks like Chucho Arango was trying to clear it, but he hits it backwards. And that'll go out again for a Seattle corner. As Albert Rusnak will stand over this one. As the ball is whipped in, and that's going to get headed out automatically by San Jose. It's going to be Rienzi. Here's Rusnak. Nice little play forward. Nice little tip forward. It's Ferreira. Tries to play it through. As that ball got crossed, but it came down to a San Jose defender. And now all of a sudden, here's Reed Baker-Whiting. I think there's a whistle. And looks like it's going to go against Buda here. As we were inching closer to halftime. They're going to say goal kick, so okay. Fair enough. As San Jose now will restart play down the left-hand side. And Seattle's trying to ratchet up a little bit of the press here as that ball works itself away to the right-hand side. Ooh. Nearly taken away as Buda has to drop all the way back to make that touch. And now San Jose is trying to work it down the left-hand side. Here's Kay. And gets played all the way back. And it's Buda. As they're going to try to play this down the right-hand side to Espinosa. That ball's going to get out. It'll be a Seattle throw-in. Good defense right there by Reed Baker-Whiting. Keeping Buda away from that ball. And Seattle will try to make a switch to the right side. It's Rienzi who's going to keep possession and move forward against Ricketts. It's Rienzi. That ball's going to get played forward. De La Vega. Deflected before it had a chance to do some damage as Daniel will come off his line to collect that ball. And now quickly San Jose is going to try to play this one forward. It looks like it's going to be Judd. And Reed Baker Whiting came all the way over to slide kick that one out of bounds. So good hustle by both Judd and Reed Baker Whiting. San Jose throw in here off the right-hand side in Seattle territory. As we're approaching minute 40 now, as that ball's thrown in. That's going to get crossed well over, but it will be kept in by Ricketts. Good hustle right there by Ricketts, who has been absolutely dynamite so far. Ooh, look at that. Ooh, Reed Baker Whiting, good deflection. So San Jose again will restart. It's Espinosa down the right-hand side. That ball's in. Punched away by Thomas. And that ball is going to get skied out. And it will be a Seattle goal kick. So San Jose continues to impress on the front foot. There's Joseph Martinez for San Jose there on the sidelines, as it looks like he is potentially warming up for a second half appearance. As there's a whistle there, it looks like that's going to go against San Jose, and Seattle will retain possession. That might be a little bit of a hard tackle against Albert Rusnak, but he's up. And that ball quickly is going to be played up the right-hand side. As Rienzi will play this back to Bell here. Ymar. Nice play by Jesus Ferreira, who's able to pick out Albert Rusnak, who quickly plays it to the left-hand side. It's De La Vega. De La Vega crossing. That's going to be headed out. Possession is kept by Roldan, who plays it all the way back. Jesus Ferreira, who plays it all the way back to Andrew Thomas. And Seattle will now again reset. And it's Christian Roldan. And Seattle is having trouble against the press here, having a hard time playing out of it. For those that are tuning in, one of the things that I think you should know about Seattle is their consistency and their ability to get to the playoffs. Only missing the playoffs once in their history as a franchise in Major League Soccer. They are a team that always finds a way to be in the playoffs. And I'm assuming that the season is going to play out the same way. That's a really good deflection right there by Reed Baker Whiting. Nice play by Christian Roldan, but it does go out. The way that this team started its MLS portion of the club history, good ownership, that was willing to spend money, that was willing to put a good team together, to have that early success, and of course some of the success that they had in the Champions League as well too. Put them on a little bit of a global map, and of course the two U.S. Open Cup, three U.S. Open Cup wins, and of course their MLS Cup trophies. In the late 2010s, I think they went to four MLS Cup finals in 5 years, winning 2 of them. They were absolutely consistent. And of course, they are the only MLS team up to this point to ever win the CONCACAF Champions League. So they are a model of consistency. And that ball is going to get played forward up the right-hand side, and it's going to be turned over right there. But, Seattle is also a team that's looking to build their own stadium. That's probably going to, hash itself out over the course of the next 5 years. As that ball is going to get played forward here. And it's going to get cleared out for Seattle throw-in. You know, that is the model in which MLS teams built off. Like when you think of Atlanta United and you think of LAFC and even Inter Miami, you know, the model that Seattle was able, you know, the blueprint that they were able to create is what's helped. It's helped expansion teams start absolutely quick. That's a nice little through ball, just a little too hard as San Jose was on the counter. Like when you think of San Diego FC this season, you know, they weren't necessarily just trying to put together a young squad and put the building blocks in place. They wanted to be aggressive and they wanted to, you know, actually be competitive in their first season. And quite frankly, they've done a very good job of doing that. And I think it all really started with the Seattle model. And so that consistency has been duplicated all across the league. And so that's the legacy that Seattle has left in Major League Soccer. As it's going to be Reed Baker Whiting here, who's got to play this one back, and it's Ymar as they will try to cycle from the left to the right. And a nice little touch pass by Christian Roldan, and it's Ymar now. And that ball is going to get played all the way back. But Seattle will hold possession here. Here's Jesus Ferreira. Nice move. Here comes Ferreira. And Ferreira will take a shot straight at the keeper. As we are in stoppage time now. 6 minutes of stoppage time due to the Jordan Morris injury. You know, and that's what makes me a proud, you know, Seattle Sounders fan. Not just because they're from my hometown, although that's a plus. It's because, you know, the legacy and the model in which they built their franchise, you know, from the ground up is what's been replicated since. And that just lets you know how important this franchise is to Major League Soccer. You know, on the other hand, you know, San Jose is an original team. As they were born in 96 as the San Jose Clash. Ultimately, I think they ended up moving to Houston to become the Dynamo. And of course, the Earthquakes were reestablished. And of course, the Earthquakes have been around since the old NASL days. And, you know, for the most part, San Jose have not necessarily been that great of an MLS franchise. And and it's not to take a dump on San Jose. But that ball is going to be turned over. It's Jesus Ferreira now. And here comes Seattle on the counter. Ooh, and Jesus played it off. But here we go. It's Christian Roldan. Roldan flicks it forward. Rusnik. Saved by Daniel right there. Good save by Daniel. As Rusnik was open with space right there. That was a nice little flick forward by Christian Roldan as it went to Mazovsky, who played it down right to the foot. Played it down right to the foot of Rusnik. That was just an excellent save right there. Yeah, as we look at this again. Yeah, Mazovsky just laid it right off to the foot of Albert Rusnik. That was an excellent shot. That was even a better save. You know, the interesting thing is, like, there are owners in Major League Soccer that absolutely do not care about the product. To them, it's, you know, what this is just an asset. And for the most part, a tax write-off as well, too. And so from that standpoint, you know, what John Fisher was able to do was, you know, get a publicly funded stadium down there in San Jose, and for the most part has not financially supported this club. As San Jose, for the most part, has been a team that generally doesn't make the playoffs and generally at the bottom of the Western Conference standings, let alone competing for MLS Cup. So it's too bad because I'm sure San Jose fans want to see this team succeed. And this is the first time in a long time where they spent actual hard money to build a roster. And you're starting, right? We are seeing the fruits of this labor. It's nice to see that the squad has, bought in to what Bruce Arena wants to do. They're an exciting team. Yes, they have flaws, but it's nice to see them in a position to potentially get to the playoffs because, of all the fan bases in Major League Soccer, to not have seen success, it's San Jose. As Thomas will play this forward. Nice throw to Jesus Ferreira. Nice move by Christian Roldan, who avoids the incoming press. And that's going to try to get played all the way up to Rienzi, and that's going to get turned over right there. Good positioning right there in the passing lanes. And it looks like it was Ricketts, and there's a whistle. As we're inching closer to halftime. With the score knotted at 1. Both teams had exciting goals in the first half, and now it's just been a chess match throughout here the first half as both teams are looking for interesting ways to get forward. Seattle has been 2 steps ahead on defense, and San Jose has been equal to the task. They haven't looked as clean defensively. And it looks like they're just trying to, it looks like they might be pressing a little bit on the attack as well, too, because their pass has not been as clean as we saw early in the first half. Right around the 20th minute, San Jose looked incredible getting forward. And since then, it's been a little sloppy. As Thomas will play this to the left-hand side, it's Reed Baker Whiting. Whiting, nice cut in. And he's going to try to play this to the right-hand side. Good deflection right there by Roberts. As that ball is going to get played forward. And it's going to be Judd who breaks away. As that one's going to get laid off, it's Buddha who plays it forward. It's Thomas. And that was an absolute beauty of a save right there. As it looks like we are at the end of the first half. Seattle and San Jose tied at 1. So let's go ahead and get into the stats here. As we will look at we'll look to see what these two teams have done. In possession, Seattle leads the possession 56-44. They also lead the XG battle 0.83 to 0.48. Total shots, Seattle 11, San Jose 9. Shots on target, Seattle 4, San Jose 3. Big chances, Seattle 2, San Jose 1. And Seattle's also missed one big chance. Accurate passes, Seattle 232 to San Jose's 171, 87% for Seattle. San Jose leads fouls committed 3-2, and Seattle leads the corner battle 3-1. Speaking of shots, shots inside the box, Seattle leads 8-5, while San Jose leads shots outside the box for 3. In the passing department, Seattle leads this 267-206. Passes in their own half, Seattle 106, San Jose 97. Passes in the opposition half, 126-74. But here's the big one: touches in the opposition box, Seattle 22. San Jose 9. So it gives you an idea that Seattle really has, for the most part, outside of San Jose's goal, which was absolutely beautiful, Seattle has been the team that's been on the front foot. They are clearly trying to take chances to get into the box. And so far they have been successful in that. Defense, San Jose leads tackles 9-6. Seattle leads the interception battle 5-2. Blocks are even at 2 apiece. Clearances, Seattle 15, San Jose 14. Keeper saves, San Jose 3, Seattle 2. Duels, San Jose leads 22-19. They also lead the ground duels department 19 to 16. Aerial duels are equal at 3. And of course, the successful dribbles 7-5 San Jose. Let's go ahead and take a look around Major League Soccer today. Let's see what we got. All right. So in the 90th minute, 90+5, Charlotte leads 3-2 with goals by Edon Gorno, Wilfred Zaha in the 59th minute, and Pep Biel in the 77th minute. Atlanta United, Tristan Mayumba in the 19th minute, and Emmanuel Latela in the 86th minute. So it does look like Charlotte is going to win this one. In Montreal, Chicago, another former U.S. men's national team coach, Greg Berhalter's side, lead 2-0 in 90+4. Hugo Kuiper scored in the 13th minute and Jack Elliott in the 53rd minute. So right now that stands in Montreal. So it looks like Chicago is going to get 3 points there. Full time already in New England, Orlando City beat the Revolution 2-1 as Martin Ojeda bagged a brace in the 18th minute, the 58th minute, and Thomas Chankali scored for New England in the 55th minute. Martin Ojeda is an awesome player, so good on Orlando City right there. In New York, Inter Miami leads the New York Red Bulls 5-1 as Jordi Alba scored in the 24th minute. Telesco Segovia scored twice as he bagged a brace in the 27th minute and 45th minute +3. And Leo Messi scored a brace himself, scoring in the 60th and the 75th minute. So Inter Miami has absolutely touched, absolutely just destroyed the New York Red Bulls. That's unbelievable. In the 64th minute in Columbus, that one is all tied at 1. Daniel Gazdag scored a penalty in the 31st minute for Columbus, and then Christian Benteke scored for DC United in the 48th minute. So that one is still fluid as the second half progresses. At halftime, in Dallas, FC Dallas leads SC St. Louis as Kiek da Silva Ferreira scored in the 24th minute for FC Dallas, and the second half is yet to get underway. So we'll see exactly if St. Louis can get back into this one. At halftime as well, in Houston, the Dynamo and the Union are tied 1-1 as Jack McGlynn scored a penalty in the 45th +10. And it looks like Alejandro Bedoya, former U.S. men's national team player, scored in the 15th minute for the Philadelphia Union. At halftime in Kansas City, NYCFC leads 1-0. Andreas Pereira scored in the 22nd minute for them. And we will see exactly how the second half is going to play out. And in Nashville, in the 24th minute, it's still 0-0 against Toronto FC. So that one looks like it just got underway. It'll be interesting to see what type of fight Toronto has. I would probably assume that Nashville is going to win this one, but I'm not going to get too ahead of myself. Later tonight, in Salt Lake, FC Cincinnati will take on Real Salt Lake, and this one is going to be an absolute banger as Diego Luna returns back to Real Salt Lake after what I consider a very good Gold Cup for the U.S. men's national team, as he's going to be playing on the left-hand side in a 4-4-2 against FC Cincinnati. And, of course, you're looking at Evander, Anunga, Baird. That team is absolutely fantastic. So that one's going to be that right there is probably the game of the week. This is also at the top of the Western Conference tonight at 10:30. San Diego FC will take on Vancouver. And, of course, Vancouver, who essentially led the Western Conference for most of the first half before being overtaken by San Diego FC. That one is also going to be a very good match, which actually has first-place implications in the Western Conference. We have El Tráfico LAFC versus the LA Galaxy. Of course, this one will be played at BMO Stadium, home of the LAFC Wings, as the Galaxy, who have had what I consider one of the worst years by a defending MLS Cup champ. That has been an absolute train wreck of a season for the Galaxy. And of course, finishing off today's slate of games will be Minnesota in Portland. So that one should be a good one as well, too. Let's go ahead and check out the standings. We'll start in the Eastern Conference as Philadelphia has a 2-point lead over FC Cincinnati, 47 points. And then, of course, you have a nice little, what I would consider a good, top six here, as Inter Miami and Columbus are, currently in 4th and 5th. FC Cincinnati are in 2nd right here. So right now, this is going to be anybody's race, because when you look at from 6th to 1st, it's a 9-point differential. But that being said, there's still a lot of soccer to play. There's going to be a lot of movement in the Eastern Conference, and I'm looking forward to it. By the way, the battle for the wild card spots right now. The New York Red Bulls and Charlotte FC currently hold those 2 positions, but 1 point back is the Chicago Fire right there on 32 points. So that one is also fluid. I do not expect New England to make a run, or Toronto or Atlanta. Atlanta's been the biggest disappointment. But that being said, as we look at the Western Conference, this match tonight between San Diego and Vancouver, 1 point separates those two at the top of the table. And this is probably going to be one of those matches where I would assume Vancouver's probably going to win. But that being said, San Diego's been absolutely brilliant. The Minnesota United is sitting right there in 3rd. They've had a very good season, 5 points clear of LAFC at 35 points. And of course, Seattle's right there in 5th at 35 as well, too. If things maintain and they get a point, they will be tied for 4th place. And of course, in the wild card spots right now, Austin FC is in 8th, and San Jose is right now in 9th. And of course, if they get they also get the point, they're going to stay 1 point ahead of Real Salt Lake. But the thing about 9th through 12th in the Western Conference, it's only separated by 5 points. So Real Salt Lake, Houston, and FC Dallas definitely have an opportunity to find themselves in the playoffs as this thing progresses. And again, when you talk about Major League Soccer, this is usually the time of the calendar. This is usually the schedule, the portion of the schedule where teams either separate themselves, or most teams actually find themselves getting into their season, because this is actually where you want to make your move. If you're a fringe playoff team, this is the time, because it's the summer transfer window. This is your opportunity to bring somebody in that's going to help you kick on and get yourself in a position to make the playoffs. Same with a team like Seattle as well, too. So there's going to be a lot of movement in both the Eastern and Western Conference, and of course, all of that's going to be here on Stateside Footy as this thing goes down to decision day in Major League Soccer. We are going to have the live streams as well, too, and of course, we will be having shows when it comes to deadline day in Major League Soccer as we close out the summer transfer window. So go ahead and hit the subscribe buttons, as again, we are on a race to 1,000 subs. I appreciate all those that are tuning in tonight, and I do appreciate Wayne Bonner for hanging out there in the chat. It's very good to see you guys, and especially for those that are over in the UK. We actually get a lot of UK traffic on these MLS live streams, so I'm actually very happy with that as well, too. So definitely head over and hit that subscribe button. Also hit the likes button as well, too, because obviously you know how these algorithms. I don't necessarily know how the algorithm works, but I was told that more likes equals good algorithm exposure. So if you're going to hit the subscribe button, you might as well hit the like button as well, too. As we are inching close to the start of the second half, I would say that Seattle spent the majority of the first half on the front foot, pressing forward. I thought they looked here's the weird thing, right? Like when San Jose were able to get forward and they were able to get that goal, their ability on the ball and their ability, to make precision passing was actually pretty good. But after that first goal, they didn't hold possession long enough as Seattle was able to build in. And the one thing that I liked was Seattle was able to respond within 5 minutes, and they put the equalizer on the board. And since that point, it's been all Seattle as far as possession is concerned. The one thing about Seattle that disappointed me to an extent, it felt like they were rushing their counterattack. They weren't necessarily being clean in their passing. Heavy touches that allowed San Jose to create turnovers. And of course, we saw a lot of quick counterattacking down that right-hand side for San Jose. So what I want to see is a little bit more patience. Like, you don't necessarily have to rush on the counterattack. Now, of course, you have to be quick, and your movement has to be on point in order to shift defenses. But you don't need to necessarily rush your passes to a point where heavy touches are going to lead to turnovers. I would like to see a little bit more patience, and if that means maybe a halftime substitution, okay. Just out of curiosity, who's on the bench for Seattle? Just curious. So we have. Looks like we have Ki-hee Kim, Danny Leyva, Georgie Monongo, Paul Rothrock, Ryan Kent. Okay. And for San Jose, they're going to have Joseph Martinez, Nico Sarkakis, Nick Fernandez, Rodriguez. Okay. And Paul Mary. It looks like Seattle might have the better bench. And I was just curious to see if the Brazilian homie was going to be in the lineup today at center defensive mid. I don't think so. So we are waiting for the start of the second half. I just lost my stream. That sucks. Let's see if I can find it again. Okay. Let's see. See if we can find the stream again. Yeah, that's the problem with it, with these streams is that, there we go. As we are underway now here in the second half, San Jose is going to be with possession to start this. And it looks like it's going to be Roberts in possession as San Jose is trying to work its way from right to left and now back to right as that's going to get played forward. Nice little ball to the top, and it's going to be Judd. And that heavy touch is going to lead to a sounder possession here. And it's okay. As that ball is going to, I have no idea what that ball was. And Rienzi is going to have to track back to maintain possession, who quickly plays it to Thomas. And now Thomas is going to play this one forward, and that's going to get out. So bad decision right there for the Sounders in their first possession of the second half. And it's going to be San Jose here working deep in Seattle's territory as Harks is going to play this all the way to the right-hand side, and it's going, ooh. And that was Buddha who put an absolute cracker. It just goes wide right off the side of the net. So Again, oh, there's another turnover right here. That shot is going to be right at Thomas, as Seattle made another mistake. Bad pass that essentially went right to Harks right there, and he was able to turn, take one step, and put an absolute missile, but it was right at Thomas right there. And now Seattle's a little bit under duress here as they're trying to build up the back and build out of the back, and it's going to be Rienzi. There's a turnover again. And that's good defense as Seattle tries to clear. And again, for the second straight time, they have made horrible decisions when it comes to passing, as they are essentially passing to open San Jose attackers here. And it's going to be Mazovsky who gets his back pocket picked as he was trying to go up the right-hand side. And that ball is going to get out. And it'll be a Seattle throw-in on the right-hand touchline. That ball is going to get automatically played back. And it's going to be Obed Vargas. Now it's going to be Rienzi on the right-hand side. Played it centrally. It looks like it's Christian Roldan. Laid it off to Jesus Ferreira. And now this thing will go out left to Pedro de la Vega. It's Herrera. Ball in. Oh, just a little too heavy. Just a little too heavy right there, as Pedro de la Vega made a beautiful run into the box. Just too heavy of a touch right there by Jesus Ferreira, as de la Vega could not get on the end of it, so it'll be a goal kick for San Jose. And again, Jesus Ferreira just has not been really, I guess you can use the word, his form is not really all that great. We're talking about a guy who scored 20 goals just a few years ago with FC Dallas that actually got him on the 2022 World Cup roster. So that there's a goal scorer in there, as there's a whistle, and it looks like it's going to be a free kick just right outside the box, up on the right-hand side for San Jose. And I do believe that Pedro de la Vega is going to get whistled for this foul. So now all of a sudden, San Jose has a set piece in a dangerous area, as de la Vega will trip up Buda as he was going down the right-hand side. And that's the thing. It's like, that there's talent in his game. We have seen it. We know it. He's played in a World Cup for the U.S. But, since World Cup 2022, there's been injuries. There's been a lot of inconsistencies. And now he gets a fresh start with Seattle. And he's not necessarily playing his natural position because, of course, they have Jordan Morris. And so he's been asked to facilitate a position that is not necessarily his natural position, as San Jose here tried to play it short on this set piece. And Seattle will now clear it, as Ricketts will go back and play it back to the keeper, Daniel, right there. And you wonder whether or not there potentially could be some flexibility in Brian Schmetzer's system. I know he typically plays, that 4-2-3-1, but is there going to be, could we see some sort of, formation going forward where it's essentially going to be 3 in the back and 2 up top, where you can actually use Jesus Ferreira as a false 9? We haven't seen it, so so I don't know if Brian Schmetzer is able to be flexible like that. But being in this position where he's asked to be more of a deeper playmaker, it just doesn't necessarily suit him. So I don't know. I just had he has not necessarily been all that impressive in a Sounder kit. So as we are in the 51st minute, still scored at 1. Match still tied at 1. San Jose's been a little aggressive here in the start of the second half, as they have been able to dial up a few turnovers deep in Seattle's territory. It just so happens that the shots were not on target. Seattle avoided 2 very costly mistakes. And looks like San Jose will hold possession as they're trying to work it down the left-hand side. It's Ricketts who tried to play it forward, and it gets deflected off of Rienzi, and it will be a San Jose throw-in. And as that ball is going to get played, it looks like it's going to be Harks. And he gets his back pocket picked. And now there's going to be a turnover, and it's San Jose, as Harks will play it all the way to the right. Here's Espinosa down the right-hand side. That ball gets laid off, and now they try to play it back, and it looks like Buddha slipped right there, and that ball goes out for Seattle throw-in. So it's been somewhat sloppy here in the start of the second half, as San Jose was not able to capitalize on a couple of mistakes, and Seattle just do not necessarily look great building out of the back or even trying to build off a counterattack. So they're going to have to at least find some calmness here. But they are able to turn the ball over and get back into possession. That's a nice ball over the top. Here we go down the left-hand side. It's De La Vega crosses. Go! And it's Musovski with his second goal. And Seattle has taken the lead here early in the second half. As Seattle was able to regain possession, it was quickly played down the left-hand side to an onside Pedro De La Vega. And it was Christian Roldan that found him. De La Vega had nothing but space in front of him. And he played Musovski on again for the header. Wonderful cross right there by De La Vega. And it hit Musovski right in the money right there. Good goal by the Sounders. And just as quickly as San Jose was getting forward, Seattle regained the momentum just like that. And they're able to counter very quickly down that left-hand side. And Pedro De La Vega put an absolute beautiful cross to the head of Musovski. And it's 2-1 Seattle. And I think that they're checking this goal for a possible offsides, as we're waiting for the head referee to blow that whistle for play to continue. As far as I was concerned, it looked like Musovski was onside. And I'm not just saying it because I'm wearing a Sounders kit, although maybe I might be. It looked like he was onside. That's just what I'll say. And the goal stands as Musovski has bagged himself a brace here against San Jose. And we are now in the restart as San Jose is going to try to play this one up the right-hand side. And again, Seattle absolutely closes down space, so Espinosa had to play it back, and now all of a sudden they're going to try to play this down the left-hand side, and it was Rienzi that closed down that space, and now Seattle is able to get the turnover, and again, they're going to try to play it over the top, as it looks like they had De La Vega again in space, but that ball was delivered under. And this is when Seattle's exciting, right? This is exactly when they're exciting, when they're taking chances, playing balls over the top. Because sometimes in the build-up they're just not as clean. But if they're able to challenge San Jose's back line and get guys in space, they're absolutely deadly. And again, that was just an absolute tasty cross from De La Vega right there to find Musovski. As San Jose here is going to have to cycle this one back at the midway line, at the half line. As that ball is going to be played down the left-hand side to Robertson, who quickly has to play it back to Romney. And as that ball is tried to play it forward, just there's nobody there except for Andrew Thomas, Seattle's goalkeeper. And that ball is going to be played really quick to Ymar. Nice move right there. And it's that ball's turned over, played forward in the box for San Jose, and that's taken away by Seattle. And that ball's going to get switched to the left-hand side. It's De La Vega, 1v1 against Espinosa. Cuts in. De La Vega played out to the right-hand side. It's Rienzi. Ball in. That's going to get tipped away. And it's Jesus Ferreira. Ferreira, good ball in right there. Here's De La Vega, deflected. As Reed Baker Whiting made a touch. Oh, boy. As Espinosa, out of bounds threw Reed Baker Whiting down. That has to be a card. Yep, I guess not. No, not even a whistle. Interesting. The San Jose will have to throw in here. Seattle again was on the attack. Jesus Ferreira put a good ball in, and Pedro De La Vega tried to cross it. It gets deflected and out, and just as quickly. Oh, nice little turnover right there. Because that ball is going to get played forward in space, but there's a whistle. And it looks like it's going to be offsides. As Judd was able to break free, but they're going to say that was offsides. And Seattle will quickly play this. Just to let you know that Leagues Cup is about to get underway in Major League Soccer. As the league shuts down, as Liga MX and as Major League Soccer welcomes Liga MX to this tournament. Last year, the Sounders had a good Leagues Cup run. And, of course, Leagues Cup will also be here on stateside footy as well, too. So, good defense by Ricketts as Rienzi was trying to turn the corner. That ball gets out. There'll be a Seattle throw-in. Leagues Cup would be a very good tournament if it wasn't exclusively played on U.S. soil. If they had some combination where certain groups played the group stage down in Mexico and it gave Mexican fans an opportunity to see some of their teams play in this style of tournament and allowed their fans to buy tickets and those type of things, it would make it a better product. I don't necessarily mind if the knockout rounds, as that ball is going to get played in, down to Rusnik, who quickly tries to put one on. It gets deflected. And Seattle will retain possession. It's Reed Baker Whiting. And he's going to have to play this one all the way back to Thomas, and Seattle reset. I don't necessarily mind the knockout rounds being played in the States, but, if you're going to have a tournament with Liga MX sides, then you also have to include Liga MX fans. You don't necessarily have to play in every home stadium in Mexico. You can actually have two pots that are playing in Guadalajara or Toluca or whatever the case may, or Monterrey, whatever the case may be. And then, of course, you can stage the group stage. You can stage those group stage games in those two cities. And as this thing progresses to the knockout rounds, those teams can come back to the U.S. to play those knockout rounds. But if you really want to make this a true competition, you have to be able to put some of these teams on the road in Mexico. I think it would make for a better product, personally. And I think Mexican sides would actually take this a little bit more seriously, because we've seen over two iterations of Leagues Cups where you're seeing that Liga MX sides just don't really care. quickly, it looks like there's going to be 2 subs for Seattle. It looks like Alex Roldan will be coming in for Rienzi, and it looks like Kim is going to be coming in for Yaimar. So double substitution defensively for Seattle, as Seattle is going to be looking to hold on to this 2-1 lead. So not bad substitutions. Yeah, it looks like Rienzi took a knock, so he had to come out. And Yaimar is working his way back. So not bad substitutions for Seattle. As Seattle has a throw-in. Last year when Chivas Guadalajara played the San Jose Earthquakes in Levi Stadium, there was 60,000 fans in the stands to watch that, mostly Chivas fans. And of course, San Jose ends up beating them. And there's no way in the world that last year's San Jose team was even remotely on the same wavelength as Chivas. And it just goes to show you that how little some of these Mexican sides care about the competition, let alone the group stage. And that's why we saw a lot of Liga MX teams, very good Liga MX teams, bow out early. And for the second straight year, we had a semifinal with all 4 teams being Major League Soccer teams. The thing that I can appreciate is maybe the pool money for the winner, but also if you're going to give away spots to the CONCACAF Champions League, again, you have to create a tournament that involves both nations. It only makes sense. This right now is set up to get more MLS sides in the Champions League. It looks like MLS was trying to figure out a way they get more entrances into that tournament, because it's important for MLS to be able to win this tournament. They've been on, MLS has been on the cusp of winning it. They just haven't been able to get over the top. The last MLS side that was able to do it was Seattle in 2022. As San Jose will have a free kick from about 35 yards up the left-hand side. That ball's going to get whipped in. Ooh, nice save, and it's a goal. As Chucho Arango, off the free kick, has equalized here in the 64th minute. That's off the free kick. The first initial shot was saved by Thomas, but right there, that ball came right down to the foot of Chicho as it was initially headed on. As Chicho was there to clean that thing up. And now all of a sudden, De La Vega is on the turf as Seattle tried to get forward quickly. And we will find out if this is going to be a penalty. As that ball was played in onside, and it was De La Vega in the box. And as the goalkeeper came out to make that, he came up spikes high into the leg of De La Vega. This 100% should be a penalty. There's nothing that's stopping the goalkeeper from going out and making that and getting that ball. But one thing you cannot do is come in spikes high into the thigh of an attacker. As we see this again, there's his leg that goes right to his thigh, just right above the knee. And I would think that this might be a penalty. And I think they're going to check this. And it looks like San Jose is about to make a change too. And it looks like LaRue is checking in. For San Jose. And it looks like Kay is coming off for LaRue. So San Jose is on the board with their first substitutions. But yeah, this has to be looked at. So again, just as quick as Seattle scored to take the lead, Seattle just couldn't hang on to the lead for long. And they're not going to say a penalty. It'll be a goal kick for San Jose. And this is what infuriates me a little bit, because Seattle's defense is actually not terrible, but they just can't hang on to the lead, for a long time. So scores even again at 2. Good goal by Chicho. And as we saw there, as they're showing the replay of the Musovski's second goal right there, as Seattle will try to play this out of the back. Here's Alex Roldan. Plays it back to Kim. And that ball's going to try to get played forward. There's nobody there. Right to the maybe. Nope, that's going to get headed forward. And now here comes San Jose. Good defense right there by Bell. Taking away that run. Seattle's trying to clear. They do a very good job. That ball's going to get played to the left. It's De La Vega charging down the left-hand side, trying to cut in. Shoots! Go! Pedro De La Vega with an absolute cracker. Charging down the left-hand side, he cuts in from about 20 yards out, hits an absolute banger to the top corner of the right-hand side. Unbelievable goal right there. And it all starts with an errant kick trying to clear the zone. And Rusnik finds Christian Roldan, who automatically plays it all the way to the left. 1v1. As De La Vega cut in onto his right foot and absolutely hits an absolute golazo from about 22 yards out. What a goal. What a goal for Seattle. And as quickly as San Jose equalized, Seattle now has taken a 3-2 lead. Here in the 69th minute. Wonderful goal from Pedro De La Vega. And that's all he needed, me kind of taking a piss on him. And all of a sudden, he shows up. See how that works? Seattle leads 3-2. And this time, can Seattle hold on to the lead for more than 5 minutes? As this has turned into an entertaining match. Not exactly the greatest defensive showing. Is that ball? Oh, that could have been turned over by. Oh, it is. Here comes Rusnik now, trying to get tipped forward, and San Jose will get possession. As Seattle was getting numbers forward, they couldn't hold on to possession. And so here's San Jose in the counterattack up the right-hand side. Ooh, they try to cut down on Reed Baker Whiting. That's central. That ball gets deflected. And San Jose tries to put it across right there. Looked like it might have been Ricketts, but that ball gets tipped over the bar. So we'll see how that we'll see if this is going to be a corner. What an absolute banger from De La Vega. Unbelievable. And Seattle, 2 goals now in the second half. Still absolutely dominating possession, although San Jose has done a fairly decent job on the counterattack. But here's Thomas now, who will play this all the way forward on his goal kick. That's going to get laid off. It's Alex Roldan, but here's now Jesus Ferrer up the right-hand side. Jesus gets on the end of it. It's Alex Roldan who lays it forward to his brother Christian in the box. Played forward. It's Musovski. Tipped away. Here's De La Vega on the left-hand side in the box. That ball is going to go. Ooh. As De La Vega tried to do it again, just lifted it a little too high, just a little too high up the crossbar. Actually, way too high because that was 5 feet above the crossbar. But again, Seattle getting it, getting possession high off the press, able to get numbers forward, and now we're starting to see just exactly how goal dangerous Seattle can get. Doing a very good job pressing high, creating turnovers, and there's a ball that's going to get played all the way down. It looks like it's going to be Judd. And there's a whistle. So there's going to be a free kick for San Jose from about 45 yards out off the left-hand side. And Bell is going to be responsible for the whistle there. We're in the 72nd minute now. 18 minutes remain, as Seattle is either looking to hold this 3-2 lead or at least try to extend it. But San Jose will make a couple substitutions. And it looks like Joseph Martinez is coming into this game, the veteran MLS striker. And it's going to be Skahan on for Ricketts. And it looks like Judd is going to go off for Martinez. And it looks like Mari's coming in for Buda. So San Jose on the free kick. That ball's whipped in. That's going to get headed out. And then then it looked like Rusnik tried to head it forward. And that ball's going to get deflected and out. And I think this will be a Seattle throw-in. So good job defensively for Seattle on that set piece as San Jose equalized from one 10 minutes earlier. And it'll be Reed Baker Whiting now to throw in. As that's going to be a long throw up the left-hand side. And then that ball's just going to get cleared. As Daniel will come out of his goal box to make that touch. There's a deflection now. Here's Albert Rusnik. Tries to play it forward. That's going to get tipped into the hands of the keeper, and quickly San Jose will play it down the left-hand side. I will say that even though Seattle has really done a good job in possession, San Jose has been, has taken their shots when afforded to them. They actually have made the most of the little time that they've had on possession. So that's a mark of a good team that knows how to take advantage of opportunity. Here comes San Jose now up the right-hand side. Looks like that was Mari. And that ball's quickly played in. And that ball's going to get played in. That cross was not good at all as it flies through the box and out of bounds. So it's Seattle throw-in. Good substitutions for San Jose now, as it looks like they're trying to solidify their attacking third with Mari and Joseph Martinez. Of course, Joseph Martinez is well known for his time with Atlanta United when they came into the league in 2018. He was, along with Miguel Almiron. Those two were absolutely lethal. And now that ball's going to get played forward because it looked like Jesus Ferreira may have been offside. So Seattle's going to have to relinquish possession now. As the clock continues to move. We're in the 75th minute. 15 minutes remain here in Seattle. Okay. And San Jose is going to try to play this up the left-hand side. That's a nice little play right there by Jesus Ferreira. Good way to get into the passing lane right there to deflect that out. So San Jose is going to have to try this one again. As that ball's played out to the right, here's Mari. He's going to have to play this back. They will cycle to the left-hand side. It's going to be Roberts who's going to play this one forward. And I believe that's going to get out for Seattle throwing. There he is, the 74-year-old Bruce Arena. His last job in Major League Soccer, an opportunity to redeem himself a little bit from the debacle that was the New England Revolution. That being said, I think he won a supporter shield with the Rev. So clearly Bruce Arena knows how to coach at this level. Nice little play by Roldan, who's going to play it out to Alex. Seattle's trying to work it down the right-hand side. Here's Christian. Nice little ball through. Not really all that great. There was nobody there at the end of it. As we are approaching minute 80, Seattle clinging to a 1-goal lead here. As both of these teams have been trading goals within 5 minutes of each other. San Jose is looking for a late equalizer. Seattle's looking to go ahead up by 2. As that's a nice little move by San Jose down the right-hand side. But that also is tipped away and out of bounds. So it'll be a San Jose throw here. This is the reason why Major League Soccer is fun to watch, because it really is a back and forth. And again, Seattle over the course of the last couple of years is actually historically known, at least in the space of these last couple of years, to have one of the better defenses in Major League Soccer. But because of injury, they're a little threadbare, and because of it, teams like San Jose are able to pop a few goals past them. But that being said, it's an opportunity for Seattle to close this down. It'll be a San Jose corner here, as this ball's whipped in, and I believe that's going to get deflected out for a goal kick. Good, yeah. As Espinosa is asking, how come this isn't another corner here? I tend to agree with him. As we look at this again, that's going to get headed forward. And I think that was actually headed off of Romney right there. Seattle will have possession here, as that's going to get played all the way down. It looks like it's Alex Roldan, as he's looking a little bit more centrally. It's Obed Vargas. That ball's going to get played forward. Here's on the left-hand side now. Played centrally. Oh! There's a shot on goal, save. There was a scrum right there, and it looked like Seattle got caught a little bit, but they were able to play that back, and that was a beautiful shot on net. Looks like it was De La Vega again. Now in the box again. Ooh, shot, good save. And it was Rusnik right there that was able to get free on a run. That was a great ball forward right there. It was Albert, yeah, so that was Reed Baker Whiting that boat went on. But Albert Rusnik, man. Was able to get free coming forward, and it was almost a point-blank shot. That was a good save right there by Daniel. That was a very good save. So this will be a Seattle corner. It's played short now. Ferreira back to Rusnik. He's going to play this in. Good pass. That's going to get deflected away. And it'll be out again for a Seattle corner. So Good defense right there by Romney. As they tried to, Seattle tried to do that short corner. Nice little 1-2 between Ferreira and Rusnik, who played one in. But Seattle will have another crack at this one. Here's Rusnik. That ball's going to get whipped in. Oh, that's going to get tipped. It's going to get tipped short of the near post. So it looks like San Jose will make another one. It's Sekiris who's going to check in. And I believe this is going to be for Harks. And it is. So Ian Harks comes off, and Sekiris now will check in for San Jose. And San Jose's got fresh legs on the pitch now. And can Seattle hold this one off? That's going to get deflected. Here's Jesus Ferreira. And now they're going to say offside. That is a bad call right there by the line judge. He was not offside. As we are now in the 82nd minute, as Daniel is going to tell his guys to get down pitch, as the goal kick is going to be skied down the left-hand side. And that looks like it's going to be headed out for a San Jose throw-in. So there's the quick throw-in. But time is going to be held real quick because there is a substitution. And it looks like De La Vega's coming out, and it looks like Paul Rothrock is coming in for Seattle. Good late substitution for Seattle. Paul Rothrock started the majority in the first half off the left-hand side. Had a pretty solid first half. As San Jose will again throw this in, keep possession. Now they're up the right-hand side. Looks like it's Mari. And he'll lay this one off. It's 1v1 against Rothrock. That ball is going to get skied across the box. Oh, what a great save by Thomas right there. He was actually pulled out of position. He was able to regain his footing right there. And it looked like it was Espinosa. That ball gets tipped. Thomas realized it, that he was out of position. He had to pull back. Then he made a nice little one-handed little tip right there to get the save. So Seattle now trying to keep possession here. Jesus Ferreira plays it centrally. There's a ball forward, just a little too forward. And it looked like Obed Vargas was making a run forward. San Jose does a good job of making sure that ball gets out for their own throw-in. As we are approaching the 85th minute now. 5 minutes remain. And instead of a throw-in, it'll be a goal kick. As Daniel will boot this down. The left-hand side. And after a series of numerous headers, the ball comes down. As now San Jose is going to try to get this up as quick as possible. As Martinez heads it off. That ball is going to get played just a little too hard, a little too far, as I believe that one got out. No, are they going to say corner? It looked like that ball was played way too far forward, and it looked like it got out before Martinez has an opportunity to get to it right there. Yeah, it'll be a goal kick. I thought so. As Andrew Thomas gets set to play this one forward. And Thomas skies it. Down the right-hand side, headed back. San Jose will have possession. As Jesus Ferrer did a really good job right there. So that gets out for a San Jose throw. And that was a nice little pass right there. And now there's acres of space as San Jose is going to try to work this down the right-hand side. There's the switch to the left-hand side. It's Roberts. That's a nice little through ball into the box. Ooh, deflection. Good shot on net. That was a great idea for San Jose as they just immediately played it forward. Seattle had to react, but they did a good job. Here's Rothrock now. And there's a whistle. It looks like Espinosa is going to get the yellow card here, as he was essentially just pushed in the back. So now Seattle will have the free kick here. As that ball was played forward around the midline, Rothrock went up, to make a header to bring that ball down, and he was absolutely shoved in the back by Espinosa. So that's going to be a yellow. As we are approaching minute 88, Seattle is holding on to a 3-2 lead. Can the Sounders hold on to this one? So far this has been an electrifying second half, as Seattle has scored 2 goals. Now, credit to San Jose because they were able to counter after Seattle took a 2-1 lead. San Jose was able to work their way back within 5 minutes to get the game even again. But Pedro de la Vega, down the left-hand side, had an absolute banger, an absolute golazo from about 22 yards out. That currently gives Seattle the 3-2 lead. And we're approaching minute number 89. As Roldan will throw this one in. And now, looks like, nice little play right there. And it's Christian Roldan. It's Kim. It's Alex Roldan now. Nice little play right here. Here comes Albert Rusnik, as that gets going to get played to the left-hand side. Seattle again now is going to switch. It's down to the right. It's Jesus Ferreira. Ferreira's going to lay this one off, as that ball is going to get played centrally. It's Obed, who lays it off to Rothrock. And there's a whistle. And there's going to be another yellow card. That looked like it might have been Securis. As it looks like it's LaRue, as he stepped on Christian Roldan's foot right there. So we are in the 90th minute now. And we have moved now to stoppage time. And I'll let you know in just a second how many extra minutes we're going to be playing. 7 minutes of stoppage time. And it starts with the Seattle free kick on the left-hand side of it, as they're going to play this short. It's Rothrock off the left. And there's a turnover. Bad pass by Rothrock. And now San Jose is going to try to counter down the right-hand side. Oh, and Seattle does a very good job right there defensively to stop that counterattack. Try to clear, but San Jose will hold it in. San Jose is looking for the equalizer. Nice little play right there by Murray. Finds Securis in open space. Now it's Espinoza. Here's Joseph Martinez. That ball's deflected. And now here comes Seattle on the counterattack. And it's Muzovsky. Nice little play right there in the box. 1v1. There's the ball. Ooh. And it looked like Obed Vargas tried to chip it over the goalkeeper, but that was actually a really good save right there. As Obed had nothing but a clean run into the box. Oh, and there's a whistle. Oh, yeah, San Jose again countering quickly. This time Baker Whiting will get the yellow. Yeah, and that was Murray running centrally into the box. Baker Whiting had no choice but to take the yellow right there. So Seattle will line up defensively to build this wall. San Jose will have a free kick right outside the 18-yard box. And it'll be Chicho Arango and Espinosa standing over this one. It's probably going to be Espinosa that's going to take this free kick. Seattle has its wall. Looks like we are ready. There's the whistle. And here's Espinosa. Shoots. Ooh! Looks like it hit the crossbar. Oh, and another save by Thomas. What a save right there. On a rebound shot by Joseph Martinez as the first initial hit the crossbar as it bounced down to Joseph Martinez, who absolutely hit a laser that was saved by Thomas. As we watch this again, there's the initial shot, and it hits off the crossbar, headed forward right down to Joseph Martinez, who put an absolute laser of a shot, almost a little side bicycle right there. And it was Thomas that came up with it. Absolutely brilliant save. As now Seattle's trying to play it a little bit forward, and that ball's going to get tipped out off the right-hand side for a Seattle throw-in. As we are now in minute 94. 2.5 minutes remain. Great save right there by Thomas to keep Seattle's lead intact. As that ball's going to get played forward. And now here's Kim, who keeps it in bounds. Good pass right there for Seattle. And then a bad pass as they were trying to play this one forward, but it drops right down to Roldan. Here's Obed Vargas. Vargas is charging the box. Just a little too heavy of a touch right there. As Vargas again tried to make a solo run into the box. Actually beat two defenders. He did a really good job. But here comes Seattle now. Here's Christian Roldan on the left-hand side. Christian lays it off to Rusnak. Rusnak shoots. Wide left. As we are approaching minute 96. Seattle is clinging into a 3-2 lead here. Daniel will boot this one up the pitch up the right-hand side. Headed back. And it's Christian Roldan who's going to lose possession. Here comes San Jose. Plays it out to the left. And it's going to be corralled again by Thomas as that ball pinged around. As we see this again, that ball was played in. It did find a San Jose attacker right there, and it looked like that might have been Mari that got his foot on, but he just could not put anything on that shot as Thomas was able to corral that. So this thing is absolutely turning into an exciting finish. Now there's a whistle. It's a yellow card as Seattle was trying to move forward. It's going to be on Roberts now, as we are now in the 97th minute. At any point, we will hear the whistle. As Jesus Ferrer will stay down on the pitch, as he's trying to milk this clock. And Jesus Ferrer essentially got pulled down by his kit right there, by Roberts, as they were trying to get forward. And it'll be a Seattle free kick here. And they'll just play this out to the right-hand side. It's Rothrock. And there it is. There it is, as Seattle holds on to a 3-2 victory. They'll take all 3 points from San Jose. Very good match there by Seattle. And listen, man, they deserve to win. There are certain points where they looked absolutely sketchy, but at the end of the day, right, they're the one that stayed on the front foot for most of this game. Good things happen when you're a little bit brave in the attack. Let's go ahead and take a look at these stats today as this one finished out. As Seattle finishes with 53% of the possession, San Jose's 47. They won the XG battle 2.25 to 2.04. San Jose did have total shots 20-9. Shots on target were even at 9. Seattle had one more big chance to San Jose's 6-5. And Seattle actually has missed more big chances than San Jose 4-3. Accurate passes, Seattle 386 to San Jose's 333. And Seattle committed more fouls, 10-8, but they also won the corner battle 5-2. When you look at shots, inside the box, it was all even, 12-12 for each team. Shots outside the box, San Jose 8, Seattle 7. In the passing department, Seattle overall led that 469 to 412. Passes in their own half, San Jose 195, Seattle 166, but passes in the opposite half wasn't even close. And it just lets you know exactly where Seattle was holding the bulk of the possession. 220 to 138. Accurate long balls, San Jose 30, Seattle 18. Accurate crosses, San Jose 9, Seattle 4. Touches in the opposition box, Seattle 34, San Jose 22. Again, lets you know exactly where they were holding the bulk of the possessions. On defense, tackles 1, San Jose 11, Seattle 9. Interceptions, Seattle 11, San Jose 8. Clearances, Seattle 24, San Jose 22. And keeper save 7-6 to Seattle. Duels, Seattle actually won this one 46 to 42. Ground duels won 36-31. Seattle aerial duels won. It's 11-10, so that was pretty close. And successful dribbles, again, that was pretty close as well, too. So Seattle was able to hold on tonight 3-2. And with that, in the Western Conference Seattle leapfrogs LAFC to 4th place now on 37 points and now trails Minnesota by 4. I would probably assume that's exactly where Seattle wants to finish, inside that top 3. For San Jose, it drops them into a tie with Real Salt Lake on 29 points, as Real Salt Lake has kicked off already. So let's go ahead and look at let's look at the matches around Major League Soccer. As we are going to, let's do this. We'll start in Columbus, as looks like Columbus ends up winning this one 2-1, as Lapalanian scored in the 78th minute to break a 1-1 draw. Aaron Herrera draws a red card in the 89th minute. It doesn't matter, though, because DC was able to get back into this one as Columbus wins 2-1. FC Dallas ends up beating SC St. Louis 3-0. De Silva Ferreira scored in the 24th minute, but then Peter Musa hits a brace in the 79th and 88th minute as FC Dallas ends up beating St. Louis 3-0. Right now in Houston, in the 90+8, it is 1-1. In this one, Jack McGlynn scored on a penalty in the 45+10, and Alejandro Bedoya scored for Philadelphia in the 15th minute. Sporting Kansas City and NYCFC ends up at a 1-1 draw as Daniel Saloli scored in the 74th minute for Sporting KC, and they were able to work back and get a point. In the 71st minute, Nashville leads Toronto FC 1-0. Sam Surridge scored in the 28th minute to give Nashville the edge currently. And if things hold on, they will get the 3 points over Toronto. In the 49th minute, Real Salt Lake and FC Cincinnati are deadlocked at 0-0. Right now, they lead shots on target 2-1. They also lead the possession battle, Real Salt Lake, and so it looks like at least for the time being now, looks like Real Salt Lake has been on the front foot. The later games have kicked off. There is no score in San Diego as Vancouver and San Diego FC are going after this one. Of course, this has obviously first place implications, so we'll keep you updated on that. LAFC and the LA Galaxy have kicked off, and that's still 0-0 because that's only in the 7th minute. And Portland, Minnesota is all even at 0-0 as well too. That's in the 6th minute. Scores earlier from today: Charlotte FC beat Atlanta United 3-2. Chicago blanked Montreal 2-0. Orlando City beats the New England Revolution 2-1, and Inter Miami absolutely blisters the New York Red Bulls 5-1. So when we look at the standings real quick in the Eastern Conference, Nashville right now, because they're currently leading 1-0, are now tied on 47 points with Philadelphia. So that's going to be interesting. And FC Cincinnati right now, if things were to play out, they'd be in 3rd place at 46 points as Columbus moves up to 4th on 44. Inter Miami is in 5th with 41 points. In the Western Conference, again, San Diego FC right now, obviously that thing just kicked off with Vancouver. So as of right now, San Diego holds the 1 point advantage. Minnesota obviously is in 3rd, and now Seattle's in 4th. So a lot of good playoff races now in the Western Conference. So this thing is going to start getting far more exciting as the summer months kick into September, where we start to see the playoff push for a lot of these teams. So definitely a lot of good content that's going to be coming away here on Stateside Footy as this thing progresses. I mentioned earlier about Leagues Cup, and that is set to kick off on July 29th. And it looks as the group stages begin. And I will let you guys know exactly the teams that are going to be participating from Major League Soccer. And it looks like 18 teams will be competing in this year's edition from Major League Soccer, and of course 18 teams from Liga MX. Let's see if they've already put the just out of curiosity, I wonder if they have the group stages here. Because I don't think they've seeded the groups yet. Maybe they have. I don't know. Well, anyway, for Liga MX sides, I will show you in just a second. All right, so from Liga MX, Atlas will be participating. Same with San Luis. Club America, obviously one of the more dangerous Mexican sides, is going to be in it. Same with Cruz Azul, Guadalajara, Juarez, León, Mazatlan, Monterrey, Oaxaca, Pachuca, Puebla, Pumas, Querétaro, Santos Laguna, Tigres, UNL, Club Tijuana, and Toluca. And again, all these matches are going to be live streamed here on Stateside Footy. And it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting to see exactly how the dynamic of this year's tournament is going to play out. Because generally speaking, again, over the course of the first couple editions of League Cup, it's literally been, as we've seen in the group stages, it's been more of an MLS showcase than it is for a Liga MX. And of course, this is the off season for Liga MX. And of course, now they're going to have to travel and stay in the U.S. away from their home fans. And of course, they're looking at this as an opportunity. Yeah, they're obligated to play, but a lot of these teams do not put forth the effort, and that has manifested itself. And again, if you want a very good Leagues Cup, you have to be able to involve Mexico, which means again, I don't care if the group stages are played in the U.S., but at least having a couple groups being stationed down in Mexico, maybe you play in just two cities and just have those, those pods just being, in and around those cities down there. It'll give an opportunity for Mexican fans to feel a part of this, because, they don't get the opportunity. So they don't have the opportunity to buy tickets and support their team. But at least that would add a different dynamic, especially for MLS teams going down to Mexico. It would, me personally, I think this would make it a better tournament, but I digress. It is what it is. Oh yeah, by the way, before I go, I do have to mention the U.S. Open Cup real quick, because I do want to talk about that. Because okay, so as we are now set into the quarterfinals, as the round of 16 played, from the round of 32, and it looks like Major League Soccer sides have actually done well against the USL Championship sides, as the Indy 11, Lou City, the Tampa Bay Rowdies, Detroit City FC, Union Omaha, AV Alta FC, El Paso Locomotive, and Phoenix Rising, and the Sacramento Republic all went down in the round of 32. And so now we are getting to the quarterfinals now, as Minnesota beat Chicago 3-1. It looks like Austin FC beat San Jose on penalties, and Nashville beat DC 5-2. So right now, the final quarterfinal is between the New York Red Bulls and Philadelphia. And right now, the semifinals, Austin versus Minnesota on one side of the bracket, and Nashville is waiting for the winner of Philadelphia versus the New York Red Bulls. And of course, the final will be played on October 1st, which again will be broadcast here on Stateside Footy. And the thing about the U.S. Open Cup is that it has been, I hate to use this term, it's been thrown by the wayside, because Major League Soccer decided to stage Leagues Cup to get away from it. The reality is, it's the showing. You have to understand something about the U.S. soccer pyramid. It's not a pyramid. It is MLS, and of course, because of the influence they have with the U.S. Soccer Federation, and because Don Garber's on the goddamn board, all of these rules are benefiting just one, and that's Major League Soccer. And so they're in direct competition with the USL Championship. And the last thing they want to see is USL Championship sides competing and beating MLS teams. It's the last thing that they want. And so in order to save face, they created Leagues Cup. and almost de-emphasize the U.S. Open Cup. Yes, MLS teams do compete into it. More often than not, it's MLS Next Pro sides that are in this one. Essentially, MLS second teams, and of course MLS teams that aren't competing in League Cup or playing in the U.S. Open Cup. But the reality is they have done. Major League Soccer has done all they can to de-emphasize one of our domestic cup, which should be praised and not be put by the wayside. But that being said, we are now getting ready for the semifinals, and of course the final is going to be played a little bit later this year. But that being said, as far as I'm concerned, one of the what I'm looking forward to is seeing what the USL does with their new first division, because they're going to be implementing Pro Rel in the United States among the USL divisions, which is the USL First, the USL Championship, and of course their League One, League Two. And so there's going to be 4 levels that are going to be participating in promotion and relegation, and that is absolutely a huge deal for the United States, and at least a framework for something that would look like Pro Rel. But that being said, at every step, Major League Soccer is doing whatever they can to put their foot in it. So the only thing I can hope is that the USL is going to continue to get better and put themselves in a position where they do win US Open Cup, because I think that makes a huge statement that they're going to be able to compete at a higher level as we get closer to 2027, which is when they're going to their first division is going to kick off, and we'll see exactly how this Pro Rel works out. But as for tonight, the Seattle Sounders did beat San Jose 3-2. Goals by a brace by Mazovsky and one absolute banger by Pedro de la Vega, and that ended up being the winner. Hats off to San Jose. I thought they played well at times, but for the most part, we saw the team with the better talent prevail. And of course, Seattle was able to hold on and not relinquish. So congratulations to Seattle. This has been an absolute beautiful MLS live stream tonight. Make sure you hit the subscribe buttons, because again, we're in a race to 1,000 subs. And, the more subs we get, the more of these things we can do. Also, make sure, before I forget, make sure you hit me up on Twitter at Stateside Footy and on TikTok at Stateside Footy. And as soon as I'm done with this tonight, I will also be posting again on TikTok. So there's a lot of good stuff going down. So I want to thank everybody for showing up tonight. This has been absolutely fun, and we'll see you next week for the MLS live stream. Just a quick note: tomorrow at, I believe, 5:00 Eastern time, the debut of the Football is Live podcast, which is a Premier League podcast that is going to debut not only on Stateside Footy but THFC TWD. So that should be a fun Premier League podcast. So there's going to be many opportunities for Stateside Footy to be known in the soccerverse. So a lot of good things coming up. Again, make sure you hit the subscribe buttons, and I want to thank you guys for tuning in. I hope you have a good night, and I hope you enjoy your Sunday afternoon. Take care, guys.
Rusted goalposts under fading sky.